Hi, this is UKManicLoomer and I'm back again with another bracelet designed by Dreamin.out.loud. This one is a 6-pin bar by 2 in length design and it is called Wings of Hope. This is her Instagram page. Unfortunately she doesn't have any large pictures, so that's all I can show of the design for her page, but if you go onto her Instagram account, which the details are below, then you'll be able to see that a little bit more clearer. And I will also just go onto my account because I've done earlier renditions of this, and I'll just pull it up for you. Okay, so that was my original rendition of the design Wings of Hope, and some of you may have noticed this was actually the one I did on my original tutorial. Unfortunately that tutorial ended up being quite blurred, so I've decided to reshoot it for you. Okay, so I'm going to do slightly different, well, I'm going to do very different colours this time, so I hope you do enjoy it, and let's move on. Right, like I said, it's a 6-pin bar by 2 in length, and it is set up just like you would if you got them out of your box, but if you can't remember what that was, then it starts from the first pin, and we're going to go half diagonally down, then half diagonally up, and then we're going to stay on the same level, followed by half diagonally down, and then half diagonally up. Okay, this is a medium tension band, but as I always advise with any of the renditions that you do, always make sure you brace it up to the best of your abilities and therefore you are safe no matter what happens. So go ahead and set up your loom like this, and I'll meet you back in a moment. Okay, so hopefully your loom now looks like this, and it's time to start putting those bands on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a black border for this one, and this is Simplicity Black. These bands, if you've ever seen them, are quite tight in their stretchabilities. So I'm not going to be using one of these Simplicity Blacks as my closing off band. Instead I'm going to substitute it with 2 metallic whites, and they're just stretchy enough so I can pull them through at the end and C-clip it without bunching up the rest of the bands. So I'm going to go ahead and pop those 2 bands here between the 3rd pin bar and the 4th pin bar, and then I'm going to start laying my Simplicity Blacks. So as always, I always go to the left first, so we're going to go 3rd pin bar, 1st pin, we're going to go diagonally down half, diagonally up half, and then I'm going to take it straight all the way to where I want to stop it, like so. So I'm going to do this side with you, and then if you just do the mirror image on the opposite side. So unlike a lot of band designs, this one does not have a mirror image of the start of how we did the bands. It closes off differently. So I'm going to take you to the end and show you how to close it off. I did a full 2 length bracelet of this design originally, and that fit perfectly for me, so I'm going to do that again today. Nearly there. So instead of copying this design at the end, what we're going to do is 2 diagonals inwards. So we're going to stop on our 2nd pin from the end, and we're going to go in diagonally twice. So that's where I'm going to stop with my straights, and then we're just going to go diagonally right again. Okay, and obviously we'll do that on the mirror image on the right hand side. We don't pop a band on there, that is where the cap band will go when we start to stitch it together. Okay, so I'll just start you off on this side. So this is on my right side, I'm going for the 4th pin bar, 1st pin, and I'm going down half, then I go up half diagonally, and then I go straight, and I follow that all the way to the 2nd pin from the end and diagonally left inwards 2. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back when I'm done. Alright, so that's my border all done, and we're going to move on to the next sequence. This one is straightforwards and zigzags joined together. So we're going to be starting off on the second pin bar, first pin, and I'm going to be using my Simplicity black again. And I'm going to go straight forward just once. Then I'm going to go and move on to Simplicity whites, and I'm just going to do a zigzag. So first pin bar, first pin. I'm going to diagonally right, and then I'm going to go diagonally left outwards, and then I'm just going to start that sequence again. So I'm going to grab my blacks, I'm going to go forward one on the second pin bar, then I'm going to get 2 whites, and I'm going to go zig inwards, zig outwards, and then again we're going to go forwards, and then we're just going to do another zigzag. So fairly simple. So you want to take that all the way to the end, and you do want to do it in that order, not just lay the straights first or the zigzags first. They have to intertwine like that. And I'll do some on this side. So we'll be doing it on the 5th pin bar, first pin, and we'll be going straight forward. And then we'll be doing the zigzag. So with the 6th pin bar, first pin, we're going to zig inwards. Oh, that one's got a split on it. Going to zig inwards, and then we're going to zag outwards, and then we're going to go forward one, like so, and then we're going to go, oh, all butterfingers, right, zig inwards, zag outwards, and I'll do one more with you. We're going to go straight forward on that 5th pin bar, we're going to zig inwards from our 6th pin bar to our 5th pin bar, and then we're going to zag outwards from our 5th pin bar to our 6th pin bar. So go ahead and finish that off, and we'll move on to the next section. Okay, so that is my straights and zigzags done together. Next we're going to be doing long diagonals, and they're going to represent the wings of Hope. So I've just pulled up my rendition again, and on here I've done them in these neon yellow colours. Today I'll be doing in metallic gold. So let's get started. So we're going to start on the 3rd pin bar, first peg, and we're going to start with a very short diagonal to the left. And then we're going to go back on that pin again, so 3rd pin bar, first pin, and then we're going to do a long diagonal to the 2nd pin bar, 3rd pin, like so. And then we're going to continue those longs all the way up to the end. So the next pin up on the 3rd pin bar, I'm going to do stretch across, long stretch again, and long stretch again. And make sure we do push them down. And we're going to carry on all the way to the end. And when we get to the end, we're going to have another short band across here. So I'll do this side with you. Do it as quick as I can. I'll push them down in a moment. So nice and easy, long stretches up every pin. Like so. Keep you in frame. We're getting to the end now. So that would be my last long stretch. So that's the 3rd pin bar, 3rd pin from the end. So the 3rd pin bar, 2nd pin from the end, we're going to put a gold band on there and just stretch it to the 2nd pin bar on the border, like so. And then we're going to do the exact same on this side. So we're going to start off with that small stretch, and that's the 4th pin bar, 1st peg, and we're going to go to the 5th pin bar, 2nd peg, and then we're going to do our long stretches. So 4th pin bar, 1st pin, and we're going to go to this 5th pin bar, 3rd pin, and then we're going to go up every one on the 4th pin bar, so 2nd one, and we're going to stretch up like that, and again we're going to pop that small diagonal at the end. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera now and finish that, and when you're ready, press play. Okay, so I have done all my long diagonals to the end along with those 2 shorts on either side. Next we're going to be doing our centre bands, and we're going to be doing X's all up the centre, and I'm going to choose 2 different colours to alternate to give it a nice colour pattern when it's finished. And I'm going to be using the purple and the red I got from the mermaid mix from Rainbow Looms. So I'm going to start off with the purple, and I'm going to go on the 3rd pin bar, 1st pin, and I'm going to do a short stretch over to the 4th pin bar, 2nd pin, and then I'm going to go from the 4th pin bar, 1st pin, and I'm going to do a short stretch over to the 3rd pin bar, 2nd pin. Everybody should know how to do an X by now, quite simple. And we're going to copy that pattern all the way up, so we're going to go right first and then we're going to go left, okay? So I'm going to alternate it with the red. So again, 3rd pin bar, 2nd pin, and we're going to the right. 4th pin bar, 2nd pin, we're going to the left. Then I'm going to go back to my purple. 3rd pin bar, 3rd pin, I'm going to diagonally to the right. 4th pin bar, 3rd pin, we're going to go diagonally to the left, okay? I think you get the idea. Go ahead and finish off your X's, and when you're ready, press play. Okay, so that's my X's done, and it's a lovely colourful pattern of red and purple down the middle. Next we're going to be laying straight lines on the 3rd pin bar and the 4th pin bar, and I'm going to go back to my Simplicity Black because these will be lying just behind these X's and slightly to the side, and the black borders them absolutely beautiful, okay? So we're going to do really simple. 3rd pin bar, we are going to go all the way up to the end, like so. And then we're going to do the 4th pin bar, and we're going to go all the way to the end. So I'm going to jump off camera, and when you're finished with that, press play. Okay, so that is the 3rd and 4th pin bar laid with our straight lines. Next we're going to do what I like to call bridging bands, and that is where they go directly across, so from the 3rd and 4th pin bar. And on this design, on the back of this design, it just adds a little bit of a wing kind of loop over, so it allows the band to be reversible if you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with my metallic golds because that's my wing colour, and I'm going to start on the 2nd pins of the 3rd and 4th pin bar, and we're just literally going right across like so on every single one of them. If you don't want it reversible and you just want to stick to the side that I showed you on my Instagram page, then obviously just put any colour onto this one. Don't think they're that crucial to the overall design, but Dreamin.out.loud did put it in her instructions, and therefore I'm going to put them on. She did make a suggestion that she ended up stitching them up on either side and bring them into the cap band to give it a different appearance, but I'm not going to do that today. And I will show you what they look like looped at the end. I think they look quite nice. Right, nearly there. Okay, got there. Right, okay, we've only got one more load of bands to put on, and then we can turn it around and start stitching. And these ones are the 2nd border band, and I'm going to go with my metallic gold again just to give it a slight edge. And if I just pull up my Instagram page again and show you here, so they're my wings which were in the yellow, and I also put the yellow here down the side, and that is where we're putting the 2nd border now. So I'm going to do it as a gold, so it'll have little gold intersections along the border. Okay, so So we're going to start off with our third pin bar first pin, and we're literally going to follow that black border all the way to the end and diagonally inwards. So I'm only going to get it quickly started, and then I'll jump off camera, and when you've done it, press play. So we're going to go to the left, diagonally down, diagonally up, straight forward, all the way up like so. Back to this side, we're going to start on the fourth pin bar first pin, and we're going to go diagonally down, diagonally up, and diagonally forward like so. And we're going to take that all the way to the end until we hit this point, and then we're going to go 2 in diagonally and stop there. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video, get it done, and when you're ready, press play. Okay, so I'm all done, and this is what the loom should look like. Bring it down slowly. There you go. So hopefully from the colours on my loom you can get an idea of what it's going to look like. And now it's time to turn it around and get that cap band on. Okay, so like I did on the closing bands, I use metallic white just because it's a little bit more flexible and it stops the pattern from sort of bunching up when you take it off. I'm going to be using a metallic white again. As you can see, it's a lot more stretchy than the simplicity ones. And I'm going to triple cap it because it's more flexible. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put it on the third pin bar, stretch it over to the fourth and drop it like so. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my hook and we're going to get going. So the first thing we need to stitch up is the last thing we laid on, which is our second border, in my case the metallic gold. So I always go to the left first and then I go to the right, but it doesn't matter whichever way you want to go. So I'm going to go into third pin bar, first pin, go into that cap band, grab that gold and just bring it back on itself. Grab the next one, bring it back on itself, go forwards and bring it back on itself. And I'm going to take that all the way to the end and then diagonally inwards. And then I'm going to come back to the fourth pin bar, first pin, I'm going to grab it, take it back to itself, in again, back to itself, and then I'm going to go forwards, and again I'm going to take it all the way to the end until I get to the gap. So I'm going to come off camera now, and when you're ready, press play. Okay, so that's the secondary border all done, and next we're going to do a really simple, straightforward on these simplicity blacks. So on the third pin bar and the fourth pin bar, and we're going to go into that third pin bar, first pin, and grab the black, only the black, and bring it back to itself like so. Then we're going to go inside that bridge band, grab the next black, bring it back to itself, inside that band, grab the black and bring it up, and I'm going to take that all the way to the end. Then I'm going to come back to my fourth pin bar, first pin, and I'm going to grab that black, bring it forward, go into that bridge band, bring it forward, again into that band, bring it forward. So it's really, really simple. So go ahead, do that, and when you finish, press play. Alright, so your loom should be starting to look like this. Next we're going to do a sequence that's going to incorporate the diagonals, the straight line and the zigzag together. So once you get the hang of it, it's a really simple sequence as it was, but there is a really nice way of remembering. And what I'll do is I'll just grab a couple of bands. So the sequence is straight forward, diagonal straight forward, or I say diagonal straight back on itself, and then 2 zigzags. So my forward would be my black band here, so I'm going to put a black band, if I just pop that there, and then the next sequence would be to go forward with a gold band, so I would put a black gold band there. And then my zigzags are white, and I need to do 1 zig and 1 zag, and I would leave that there just to remind me of which band goes when in a sequence. Just a little tip, Right, just take them out of the view and put this one back in. So the beginning part is slightly different to that sequence, so we'll get that one done first, and then I'll get you moving it into the sequence. Right, so we're going to start on the second pin bar, first pin, and we're going to go into that top layered border, and we're going to grab that very first band on top, which is the small stretch diagonally that goes to the third pin bar, and we're going to take it back to itself onto the third pin bar like so. Then we're going to go back into the second pin bar, first pin, and grab that long diagonal and bring it directly back to itself like so, okay? Then we're going to go back again into that second pin bar, first pin, and we're going to grab that black, which is the next band in the order, and we're going to take that forward, and then we're going to go forward into the second pin bar, second pin, and we're going to grab that gold bar, band even, and take it back to itself like so. And now we're going to do a bit of zigzagging. So we're going to go into the first pin bar, first pin, and we're going to grab that zig, and we're going to take it back to itself inwards like so, and then we're going to go into that one and grab the zag and go outwards and back to itself like so, and then we're going to go and grab the next one, which should be your top band, and we're going to zig inwards again, and we're going to stop there. Now that's the only time we do 3 zigzags together. All the others are now going to be 2. So we're starting the pattern from now. Second pin bar, second pin, we're going to grab that straight forward, so that was our black. Then we're going to go diagonal, which is the gold, back to itself. Then we're going to go into that pin again, and we're going to grab that top band, which I just wiggle it about. They've got a bit, there we go. No? Oh, there's always going to be one in a pattern, isn't there? Right, let's just give it a wiggle around. Right, there you go. So you've got one zig there, and then you've got the zag going back in, like so. And then we start again. So we're going to go from that point where we just put the band on, drop down one to grab that straight line, like so, bring it up. From that point where you bring it up to, grab the gold that's in there, take it back to itself, like so, go back into that pin bar, so you're on the second pin bar, 1, 2, 3, 4th in, grab that top one, which is your zig, and bring it back to itself like so, and then always finish it off with the zag going back in, okay? I'll do it again for you on this side. So again, we're going to go on the second pin bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in, so where that zig's just finished, oh sorry, 4 in, we're going to drop back one, grab forward, then grab from that forward place, diagonal, back to that pin again, we're going to zig outwards, and then we're going to zig or zag inwards like so. And we're just going to take that sequence all the way to the end, and we're going to start this side for you and then we'll let you get on with it. So I'm going to go into that 5th pin bar, first pin, and we're going to get that small diagonal, and we're just going to loop it back on itself, 5th pin bar, first pin, get the big diagonal, loop it back on itself, then we'll go into that 5th pin bar, first pin, take that black band, and we take the right black band. Let me just sort that out. What just happened there? Right, okay. Take the right black band, bring it forward, okay? Then we start with the diagonals again, and then this is where we do our triple zigzag. So we're going 6th pin bar, first pin of the design, grab that in, and we're going to go zig inwards, we're going to zag outwards, we're going to zig inwards, and then we can start our pattern. So where we stopped off with that zigzag, we're going to jump back one peg, grab the straight forward. From that peg we're going to grab the diagonal. From that peg again we're going to get the zig, like so, and then the zag. And then from where the zag finishes we jump back one, get the straight forward, then we get the diagonal from that pin, then we go back to that pin, we get the zig going out and the zag going in. Okay, so repeat that pattern all the way to the end. If you need help, just rewind, and what you'll find is you'll get to the end and there isn't enough zigzag. So what I'll do is I'll stop here, jump back onto camera and finish the end bit off with you. Okay, right, be right back. As promised, I've jumped back on and I've done all the way up to this point. So I'll start on my left hand side. I've already done a forward chain, so my next sequence would be that diagonal, and it's a small diagonal. Oh, make sure it stays on there, push it down. Okay, and then it would be the zig next, and obviously there's only one there, so I can just grab that one band, that would be great. Thank you. And then we're going to go straight forward and finish it off. Okay, and we'll do it on this side. I left the straight just to bring forward this time, so we go straight forward to go into our diagonal, which is the small one, like so, and again push it down, don't let it jump off on you. Then we go into that one zig, and then we bring it forward and we close it off. Okay, so hopefully your loom now looks like that, and please do take some time just to check that you have done all the stitches in the right order and it looks all the same in the patterns, because that's an awful lot of stitches to try and concentrate on and get it done. And I know in previous renditions I've got distracted and I might have slightly missed one or got one slipped off and not realised. So just a little bit of advice, do check on it before you move on. Right, anyway, let's move on. So we're going to do the X's next, and we've got X's and flip overs. All right, so what we're going to do with our X's, we're going to start with the bottom band, okay, and then we're going to go to the top band. So the bottom band should be on my third pin bar, first peg. So I'm going to bring that over and hook it over. Then I'm going to go into my fourth pin bar, first peg, grab that one and bring it across like so. Okay, next we're going to do a diagonal hook. So those gold wings, we've got to bring them over and hook them back onto itself. Now, if anyone's seen the flipogram, it looks like you're bringing it over from this side. I have tried that so many times, it doesn't work. So you go in between the two pins and this cap band here. So you like that, and then you go inwards, bring it over, out and drop, okay? Again, fourth pin bar, first pin, second pin, we're going to go in, I'm going to grab that bottom part of that diagonal, so it should be the short diagonal that you've got there, like so. We're going to go in between the two, over, so now you've got one band following over the top, out, so it's dropped over the top, and drop, okay? And we're going to do that same sequence all the way up. But what we're going to do now for all our X's, instead of grabbing the bottom band, we're now going to grab the top band first. So this should be coming from your right side to your left. So we're going to go in, we're going to grab that red band on the right side, we're going to bring it across and drop it on like so. Then we're going to go in and grab the opposite side, make sure we get the red one. So many bands on this thing. All right, just want the red one, thank you. Okay, and bring it back to itself, so left to right. Then we're going to do the same thing we did here. We're going to go in between the pegs, so third pin bar, between the second and third pin bar, we're going to go in, and we're going to grab that bottom part of this gold diagonal here. We're going to bring it inside between the two pin bars. We're going to bring one of the bands over the top, roll it over the top to the other side and drop it. And again, we're going to do it on the fourth pin bar between the second and third pin. We're going to go in here, grab the bottom of this diagonal bit here, go inwards, hook one of the sides of the band, bring it along, out and drop. Okay, so we'll do that again. We're going to go top band, so again we're going to go from the right side to the left side, and this time it's purple. Bring it over, go inwards, grab the left, bring it to the right, and then we're going to start with our hook overs again, and we're going to go in between the third and fourth pin bars. We're going to go in, grab the bottom of that diagonal here, going to go inwards, allow one of them to go over the top, over, out and drop. Again between the third and fourth here, we're going to grab that bottom part of that diagonal band here, and we're going to bring it to the middle, hook it one side over the pin, bring one side on top of the pin here, you see the band, bring it over, drop, and again we're going to continue. I'll do it one more time. We're going to go into the third pin bar, sorry, the fourth pin bar. We're going to get that top diagonal band on the right side and bring it to the left side. Then we're going to go into the left side, get the other band and bring it back on itself. And then we're going to go in to between these two pegs here, grab the bottom of this diagonal, bring it inwards, hook that side to the plastic, and then we're going to bring this one over and drop it to the other side. And again, we're going to grab between these two here, we're going to grab this one. So what you don't want to do is go in between the two black lines. You want to go on the right hand side of the black lines, which are your straight forwards. Okay, then go inwards, hook the side of the band, bring it over the top and drop. Okay, so if you're not too sure, rewind back and have a look. But it's really important how you do the hook overs, because if you don't do it correctly, the band it won't fall off, it will just hang loose on your design, which again many times have happened to me in my colour renditions when I'm trying to decide what colour to use. So go ahead and do it like I've just shown you, and when you get to the end you will have a double band here, so you've got the short one and the long one. Just hook that long one over the top, leave the short one there. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead to the second from the end and I'll show you what I mean for the last one. Okay, so when you're ready, press play. Alright, so I've finished up to the end and I've just crossed over my last X, and here we've got that short bar and the long one. We're going to take that long one in between the two pegs, hook it into the middle, around and out, and again on this side, so to the side of that straight line, grab the bottom diagonal, bring it up to the middle, hook it over and to the outside like so. Alright, so your loom should be looking like this at the moment, and it looks very colourful for my case. Now you'll be really happy to hear that we are on the border part, and that means we'll be taking it off next. So we're going to go into that third pin bar, first pin. We are going to grab that border band, which is my Simplicity Black, and bring it back to itself. And we're going to bring it back to itself again until we get to the first pin bar. Then we are going to go in that pin bar, we're going to get the band and bring it forward like so, and then we're going to stop there. and we've got another flip over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it to the side here, and you'll be able to see that my sequence goes zigzag band, which is the Simplicity white, 2 gold bands, which are my secondary border, and another Simplicity band if you ignore the black bands. What I want to do is grab that very bottom white zigzag like so, bring it up, around, and then you want to drop it over that second peg on your first pin bar. Then you want to go into that pin and grab forward the next black, and we'll do the exact same thing. So we are going to grab that bottom band, and as you can see here, they've got them all mixed up, so you can put your pin, your loom in there and just give it a wiggle, and sometimes it will work. If not, like that didn't work, just pick it up gently and allow that white one to get back down to the bottom, like so. And then just hook that white one, which is your zigzag band, bring it up over that pin and drop it so it's in between the first pin bar and the second pin. Then we're going to go in that pin and grab the next forward and put it on back on itself. Then we're going to go to the side. We're going to grab that bottom band, which is my white zigzag. If I can grab hold of just that one band would be very nice. There you go. Lift it up, bring it over and drop it underneath there. Okay, so that's what you're going to be doing all the way to the end, and you will do it to this pin, the very last pin on the first pin bar. Then you will just go in with your first border, which is my black, go diagonally up and go diagonally down and stop. Then repeat to the other side. So I'm going to start on this side with you. So I'm going to go into my fourth pin bar, into the cap band, grab that top band, bring it back to itself, go into that one, grab that band again, bring it back to itself until we're at the sixth pin bar. Then we're going to go into that sixth pin bar, grab that next forward border, because there's no zigzags on this one, so we can't loop it over, and drop it forward. Then we're going to go to the side again, and exactly the same on the opposite side. Mine is a white zigzag, so I get that white band at the bottom, bring it out, over and drop. Then I'm going to go into that one, go forwards, turn it over again, grab that white zigzag, bring it out, over and drop. And I'll do it one more with you before I go off camera and get to the end. So that's forward, grab that bottom zigzag, bring it out, over, in between and drop. Okay, so go ahead and get that done, and I will come back onto camera to pull the C-clip bands through and start taking this loom off. So when you're done, press play. Alright then, we are getting to the end. So if you didn't quite catch what I said about this bit, we've got to the end, we've done our last flip over, and we're just going to bring in those bands to the centre like so. And this side, we're going to bring it in, go into that band, grab the bottom band, bring it in. Right, so that is all done. It's time to quickly have a look down your loom, make sure there isn't anything that perhaps you've missed or mislooped, looks slightly off in the patterns, because it's easily corrected on a lot of these stitches where you can just backtrack and get it done rather than taking it all off the loom and having to pull it apart. What I also do as well is I look down the middle here, and as you most probably see, it is bowing quite a lot here. Now, it did throw me off the first time I did it. You will see what looks like loose bands in the centre part, and for my case it is the metallic golds. They are meant to be there, so don't panic. Right, let's get it off, shall we? I'm going to just turn it around so I can get into that a little bit easier for me. fact, I'm just going to turn it sideways so it's like that. Okay. Now there is an awful lot of bands on this, so I am just going to tilt it so I can see what I'm doing. And I've just grabbed those two white, metallic white bands, and I'm going to take it very slowly and I'm going to bring it around the plastic peg. Well, I'm going to try anyway. Right, let's just bring it up for now. There you go. So we've got that across and to the middle. Give it a good wiggle, make sure it is there. And then I'm going to just put my C-clip. I'm going to try and put my C-clip. I'm not very graceful when it comes to the clips. Right, and then I'm going to go back in. So I'm just going to tilt it so I can have a quick look. I don't want to be catching any of these bands. Wow, there's a lot of bands on this one. Right, okay. I've got them. I'm going to bring it up slowly. There you go. Put that back on. Let's just get this fiddly bit over and done with. Get it back on there, you silly thing. Black one wants to join the whites apparently. Right. Okay. These two whites and hook them over. Ta-da! So graceful. Not. Right, give it a bit of a wiggle. Yeah, there is no... Yeah, sorry, just checking this for all the bands at the end. Right, so it is time to get it off our loom, and there is a lot of bands on there, so I'm going to start off with my side and I'm going to whip it off. I'm going to take this whole thing off camera, or should I say I'm going to take the whole thing off the pegs on camera. So if you don't want to watch this, then just jump forward, and if you're not interested in the finishing results, just stop it here. We're just going to whip off all those side bands, and that's on the first pin bar and the sixth pin bar, and that's just to give those middle pins less tension so we can get them off easier. Right, then I go to beginning again, and I'm going to start hooking them off. And these ones do look quite loose, so they look like perhaps they're not stitched on correctly. Don't worry about it, because it's going to need a lot of straightening out. This design is very clumped up on either end, and you're going to have to manipulate and pull the bands in the right way to get it to lay flat. But it is so worth it, because this design, it is beautiful when you can get it to lay flat. It's not a design that you can just take off the peg and put it on your wrist and go. It's one that you have to spend time on loosening up all the bands and getting them to lie where they're meant to be to actually see the real beauty of it. So don't worry, I won't do that on camera. That will take quite some time to get the simplicity bands to lie where I'd like them to go. So what I'll do is I'll go off camera and I will spend my time getting them all nice and straight, and then pop back onto camera and just let you see what it looks like after you spent the time on it. There's a lot of bands on this. Hands getting cramped. So at the moment it's currently 2:15 in the morning here in the UK, and unfortunately I'm wide awake. So So being that it's nice and quiet in the house, it's a good time to get a tutorial done. Nearly there. Last two ones. There you go. All right. Woohoo! Super excited. Okay, so let me just bring this into view. This is the rendition. As you see, it's all twisted and distorted. It's not going to lie down flat at all. But this is what I meant by these little wings, tassels on one side. Now what Dreamin.out.loud told me she did after she made the flippergram is to stitch these up together and join them to the C-clip, but I think they sit just perfectly in the gap there, and I am personally going to leave them there because I just think it looks great. So that's what it would look like on what we'd say the reverse side, and this is the signature side that Dreamin.out.loud came up with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera now. I am going to straighten up all these bands and then I'm going to pop back on and show you the difference between just accepting it as it is when it comes off the loom and actually taking the time to finish it off. So be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've taken my bands and straightened them out, and this is what I've come out with, and I think that looks pretty cool. And as you can see, it is a very elegant design, and I love these wings here, and they kind of look like hearts that come into the middle. I'll just bring it around this way as well, like so. So once again, this band is called Wings of Hope, and it was designed by my good friend Dreamin.out.loud. And if you make a rendition of this design, me and Dreamin.out.loud would love to see it, so please hashtag us. Details are in the description box below. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I think it's time to say bye.